righty. We are back and we are ready to get at it. Okay. There we go. Now I can see myself. It was a little delay. But anyway, we're ready to get to this conversation here.
All right. We're at the top of the hour, huh?
Yes. Maybe.
Are we? No, we're a little earlier than the top of the hour.
Before we get going into this conversation, it's when the pump your brakes. We got a little intro. What you gonna do? I want to introduce them. Okay, Brother Carter, really do it. Brother Carter, I need you to take over this segment here. I know you cool. Can you bring our guests on in?
Okay, I know you guys have seen them already. They've been here for the last hour or so, but we want to introduce them. We want them to introduce themselves unto you officially this morning. So I'm going to start. This is a lovely couple here today that we have on the show today. And so ladies are first. So I'm going to ask Miss Nicole to look at the camera right there. Introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, what you do, who you are, how you got here.
My name is Dr. Nicole Odom Hardnett.
Doctor.
Did y'all hear that? She said doctor. Oh, we have some real incredible people coming on the show. Go ahead.
I am president and CEO of Focus Point Behavioral Health.
Okay.
And I have 5 locations, 4 in Maryland and 1 in Tomball, Texas, right here in the great state of Texas.
Come on now.
I've been in business since 2010. And
that ain't all you about either. Now, don't hold back on them. Come on now.
I also
you can toot your horn a little bit on the show. I know the scripture said, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord and he will lift you up, but sometimes you just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and announce some of your accomplishments in life.
I am a 6-time author. I work with families with blended families and work with people with having struggles with relationships. Which are a lot of them.
She do so much it's hard to even say all the things that she do.
Come on now.
I have a candle line coming out.
Come on now.
I'm definitely the visionary for my company.
And we gonna break when she get that candle line coming. We're gonna have it sit right in here, and I'm gonna tell y'all how good it smells.
Within the company, which is Focus Point, the actual name is Focus Point Solutions, and we are franchising. So if anyone wants to join in and work with us in their business, please reach out.
So Nicole, how did you come up with this Focus Point? Where did this title come from?
Focus Point, actually, I was looking for a name that said vision, purpose, and nothing says purpose better than focus. So you focus on a vision, a target. So the word focus stuck. Your point of purpose, point of reference. So focus point.
Okay.
And solution. How you gonna fix a problem?
Got it. Okay.
Focus point solution.
Okay.
All right.
So that's
so
how
you focus on the people, then you have a directive for a solution at the end of the day.
And that's what I do. I work with people, and then Focus Point Behavioral Health came up because that's what I do. I work with people in suffering from addiction and mental health. Along with PRP, which is a psychiatric rehabilitation program, DUI, DWI, supportive employment, MAT, which is medication assisted treatment. I'm thinking, I think I got everything.
Yeah,
You got at least.
As y'all can see.
And we're starting another program very soon. My partner over here.
Partner in crime over there.
You put him. You keeping him. You keep him working.
I'm keeping him working. He's my COO. We've been vacillating on starting a new program, and because I believe in a one-stop shop, and for my clients to work full circle, bringing them in for their mental health or bringing them in for their addiction, and usually a lot of people have lost everything because they struggle.
Well, in Nicole, I'm going to say in this day and age, in this climate, it's definitely needed for the services that you're offering. And I'm really happy that she's here in Texas, in Houston, in the Houston area. She is, I can say she has been proven and tested. This is not a new business for her. It's just new to Houston. So if I could say anything, guys, check her out. Go to their website, find out everything about them.
And we're going to give you that information later on.
And we will put all of that information out.
You're getting a lot of support there in the comments. They're saying you're doing amazing things and good job, and they're wishing you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Right.
And as you guys know, as you guys see, you guys come on to the Love and Victory show on Saturday mornings, and we tend to have a lot of physicians, what do they call counselors, and
people that can help you,
mental health
resources.
Yeah. Help me out here.
I got you. I'm your helpmate.
Yeah, because on the Love and Victory show, we need that, and I need it, and Val definitely need it.
Oh wow!
And so that's why.
That is so. Can we introduce the other brother before we get to this pettiness?
And so you guys come on to the show every Saturday. So obviously you need it as well. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for coming in and getting y'all treatment. Okay, now we're starting. You got this?
Yeah, I can't miss. You see how big Thomas is? That's a big man right there. There's no way I can just not see him right there.
There you go. All right.
Okay,
baby.
so we're going to turn to my left. And we're going to ask you to introduce yourself. That's your camera right there.
Okay.
So,
thank you, Brother Carter and Sister Carter.
and I apologize for saving you. I should have got you first because Nicole has so many levels.
You got a list.
My
list is very short.
Oh Lord, the pettiness around here.
So
okay, we got this.
Yeah, so I am as Dr. Nicole mentioned, I'm the COO of Focus Point Behavioral Health, but I'm also the managing partner of Focus Point Franchising. So you can find that online at focuspointfranchising.com. Anybody that's interested in opening up a Focus Point franchise, just read the information and get in touch with me. But also, we hire a lot of people. We have locations, as she mentioned, in Maryland and Texas. I also am the managing partner, one of the managing partners of Bug Hardnett and Associates, which is a company in Baltimore that focuses on workforce development. Just about anything you can think of relating to workforce development, staffing. We have contracts with city schools providing aids in the schools. So we do a lot of staffing and a lot of workforce development. But mainly my job is to really decipher Nicole's visions and figure out how I can make those things happen. I work in the largest Black-owned supermarket chain in the country for years, and I learned a lot from my mentor, a guy by the name of Henry Baines. And he taught me a lot about business. My dad was a cab driver who I think when I was on the show before, I talked about Tommy's Taxi. And I learned a lot from my dad also about business. So that's my thing. If anybody ever asks me, what is it that you are good at? I'm that kid in kindergarten. If you throw a box of 1,000-piece puzzle on the ground, I'm going to sit there and try and put it together before I leave. You know
what? And you have to have someone that can also balance you out, because when you're, and we're going to get this show going, when you're a person that is just a visionary, you're constantly going, your brain is constantly churning. And so you're needing someone that you can kind of, okay, now God done dropped this in my spirit. Now I need someone to make it plain. So you're that person that makes it plain for her. That's why it works so well.
I wake up at 3 a.m. with an idea and it won't leave me. And when it's strong, I keep nudging him and nudging him. I'm like, we got to do this.
And it's almost like you can't turn it off. But we're going to talk about this. You all in.
When to pump the brakes.
Now it's making sense how we're going to go with this. And now it's time for sponsor. We got a great sponsor. We're going to bring this up and we're going to talk about her. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So we have Arabella Counseling. It's run by our lovely, wonderful Stephanie.
Hold on one second. Can you take that?
Yes, sorry, my
Okay,
bad.
thank you.
Yes, I will take it. Arabella Counseling, they are dedicated to providing a safe, welcoming space for women and couples to navigate life's challenges. Obviously, we're all about self-growth here on the Love and Victory show, and we advocate for therapy and counseling and working on your mental health and stuff like that. So if you're dealing with depression and anxiety, or maybe you just lost somebody important to you, maybe you're going through some trauma, childhood trauma, or you're having problems in your relationship, interpersonal growth and development, or you're ready to get married and you want to take the steps so that you can get married, or be ready for a marriage, I should say. You can contact Arabella Counseling at 832-770-6297, or email them at info@arabellacounts.com, or visit arabellacounts.com. There's a QR code there on the screen if you guys would like to book your first appointment.
And you guys know Stephanie is very special to me. You can catch her every third Saturday on the show. She is one that truly has a passion and a heart for God's people and for all people. So check her out. And now it's time.
Again, she pours into us all every third Saturday.
Yeah, that's why we're
8
getting
to
here.
10.
Baby, you know what? I just thought about something
What
before
you
we
think?
get going, and we're going to do this acronym. That's why, we've been doing this about 2 years, a little over 2 years. I've really grown. I don't react as much. Wouldn't you agree? I don't get that upset no more.
No.
Oh, you don't agree?
Can you handle the truth?
Oh, I thought I would have some healing going on. All right, then. I guess I don't.
We're doing good.
Yeah,
We're doing good.
It's time for the acronym so we can get this thing going. I tell you, come on now. Come on, I can't hear you. What's
Sorry, I'm doing my own mic. Not used to it.
okay? Erin is on the other side of the deck, but she got this. Come on, Erin.
Absolutely. So today's acronym of the day is control. C is cautionary. It's like a warning. You want to look at where you're going. O is for orderly, organized in a neat, tidy manner. N is for narrow, limited in meaning, size, amount, or extent. T is for tenacious, persistent, stubborn, and holding fast. R is for robust, vigorous, and strong. O is for obstructive, blocking, hindering, or interrupting, deliberately causing delays. And L is for liable, being accountable or responsible for something.
All righty then.
That's my new name.
That's your new name, Control? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what the N and the O have to
Now,
do
y'all
with
know he needed to break it down. Go ahead.
the N being narrow-minded, you say?
Narrow, limited, like in meetings. So this would be something more along the lines of like you've got a vision or you've got an idea, but your scope of it is on the narrow way. You can also think of it like in the Bible where the wide path is easy and the narrow path is hard to find.
Okay, it's still a pathway until the vision, though. Okay. All right. And the O again, it sounds like you said tearing it up.
Are you talking about obstructive or orderly?
It's two O's there. Which one?
The
Obstructive?
second O.
Obstructive?
Yes.
So this would be something you could think of it like a block on the path, things that are obstructing your journey, things that hold you back, interruptions, things like that.
Okay.
Like getting the show started.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
I heard it one way, but it's being interpreted another way.
All right, then.
So that's
exactly. That was real good. All righty. Well, we're just going to jump on in here. When to pump your brakes. When you guys heard this title that we sent out there, we have a little stuff going on with us every now and again, and I be needing counseling. So when we sit down and we come up with these titles,
let's look at what Nicole laughing about over here.
Yeah, why you laughing so hard? Well, come on up to the camera, Nicole. Why you laying back there? Why is this title funny? Please share with us.
Because I knew we were going to be on the show. I did not look at the title.
That's so good.
Because I don't like being scripted.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the flow.
That's kind of me. Okay.
Yeah. And my wonderful husband
need to know.
With his military background.
That's that control.
Needed to know.
Is that why
that should be his name?
Oh, okay. So when he heard, So what you telling me, when he heard when to pump your brakes, he needed to know what that's all.
He needs to know.
He needed to know. And nobody wasn't giving him nothing.
He's
No,
like,
I
wait a
sent
minute.
emails to your staff.
And what my staff,
asking
and
me.
they know okay, so staff, come in. Y'all got emails? Can y'all
He
please?
was like, they not getting back to me.
Okay. I need my staff to
I
come
need
on
to
into
know.
the room and
They
tell
did
them
tell me
why.
Eventually, that's just a topic. We'll.
I want to hear how my staff responded to you. Come on in the room, Abigail.
Yes, so he reached out to me. He said, so the title's When to Pump the Brakes. Could you expound on that? Could you tell me what we'll be talking about?
And what did you say? We don't script it. What you gave it?
I don't remember exactly what I said. I think I gave him the exact description that it says when I put it in the description of the YouTube video. I didn't give anything too specific because I never know where you and Brother Carter are going to take it.
Right.
There's usually like a rough idea where I think it might go,
Yeah.
but it could go any
Sometimes
which way.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something.
So,
They take this
Yeah,
whole
go
time.
ahead.
Let me say this here. Our team takes the whole time to put a whole show together.
Mhm,
If y'all ain't learned anything about Brother Carter and Sister Carter,
mhm.
we don't follow a script. I stay with the title. In some
Yeah.
kind of way, we come back. But when we came up with when to pump the brakes, I really took it personal. Because for me, when we came up with it, I was like, because I'm a person that is a visionary, I'm a person that's always wanting to try something new or do something extra, or my brain is always going. I needed to have a conversation about when to pump the brakes. And then because you're in business, sometimes you also need to know when to pump the brakes, when to get off the freeway. And so it was just speaking to my soul. So that's why and I felt like having 4 professionals on here, this would be a great conversation. And 2 couples. Because sometimes we can disagree as couples.
Right.
We need to know when to pump the brakes. So this conversation gonna go all kind of ways.
So in other words, that means when do you take time to smell the roses?
Well, it could be that.
We can say that way.
We could say that way, but we could say, when do we we're gonna agree to disagree?
That's something we've grown in over the years. I remember we would get upset with each other and not talk for a long time.
3 days.
3 days.
I mean, I'm that now
Y'all
we
just
can,
like Jesus in the tomb. Huh? 3 days.
but now
On the third day morning, we wake up on the third day.
Yeah.
But now, sometimes things just you disagree. And like you said, you agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And then you go on about your business and you say, what are we going to eat tonight?
Yeah. So have to move on.
Yeah. Because if we sit there and we just dwell in it, we get up. More and more. But for me, when I heard the title Pump the Brakes, living in Baltimore, we have snow and ice. And so
you thought about pumping the brakes in the car?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why I thought about that in life.
That's a good one, yeah.
Because in Baltimore, if you don't want to slide off the road or slide into another car, you got to kind of pump your brakes. You can't just hit that brake,
right?
And you just gonna keep sliding.
That's deep.
So you got to pump the brakes a little.
So you got to ease into it instead of just stopping real quick.
Yeah,
you're gonna mess some things up. Ooh, okay then.
And so my wife is like you. She has a lot of ideas, and she, I always tell her, I said every good business idea ain't good for business.
Right.
And
say that again.
Every good business idea, because everybody think they got a good business idea. It's like, I'm gonna open up a car wash, or I'm gonna open up this, and then they don't think about what it's gonna take to get to make that business profitable. Or you look at other people, you look over the fence and you say, oh, Johnny Joe making a whole lot of money doing this, but you don't know
the cost.
Right. You don't know what Johnny Joe is doing to make that money.
Or you don't know how much, and I'm gonna put myself out there, full transparency, and I guess we'll go with the radio.
Yeah.
When God spoke to me and said, we need to start a radio show or to do the podcast, a team. And then radio. I'm like, radio? I don't know nothing about this. I'm in healthcare. And when I got into it, I just kind of automatically thought it was first I needed Brother Carter because he's the personality. And then I thought it was just gonna go. Well, what I didn't realize, nothing that you start it's going to be free
Right.
if you want to do it right.
Mm.
So there is a lot of money that goes into something that you're building if you want to do it the right way.
Right.
And so it's easy to look on the outside thinking that, I can do this when you haven't really settled the cost or really looked into what the cost of that was for me with the radio. So that was mine.
But you know, and you mentioned that, and I think of something when you talk about pumping the brakes. We were in church one time, and it was a guest pastor came, and he talked about, I think it was a cheetah can jump so many feet in the air, so many
He talking about
yards
the
out.
animal, not you people that are cheating. He
Right,
talking
the
about
cheetah, the leopard. I think it was the leopard. The cheetah. I get them mixed up. But the point was, he said, now why can I put a 6-foot fence in front of a leopard or a cheetah, but they can jump 8 feet? And why won't they jump across that fence? It's because they won't jump where they can't see where they're gonna land.
Ooh,
They need to know what's on the other side.
They got to see what's on the other side.
But that goes
And
back to
that's me.
control.
And
He
that's me.
needs to see what's on the other side.
My husband is that way too.
Yeah.
I think I don't necessarily know if it's a control thing or it's a man thing, because you need to make sure that your landing for your family is safe.
And
Is
so
that what it is?
Yeah,
It's being logical in your thinking.
But everything is not logical.
Right.
That's where, as men, that's the way we are built. We built to think first.
Well,
Versus
I
sometimes-
can't. Well, I'm gonna come
can't-
back
we
to
can't
that.
go there
I'm gonna come back to. Wait, now you put yourself
Because
out
we
there.
doing
No,
that
we
men
not
versus
gonna
women
move
thing. We not
ain't
gonna take it
moving
there.
past
I'm just saying that y'all are more reactive
No.
to situations versus
No,
being proactive.
Because that would say that we don't think. I
I'm
can,
not
But
saying
that's
that.
you said that. You ain't
I
getting no
can
pass on
jump
that.
across that fence.
But I can figure out how to go through that fence. But you
Exactly.
guys are sitting over there spending a lot of time. How long is it going to take me to scale this fence? While we're sitting there saying, I don't even have to scale it. Let me get me a saw and cut through it and walk right through it.
But what I can say is I'm strong enough to jump that fence.
If I
And when
have
I get
to.
on the other side of that fence, I'm strong enough and mighty enough, and I know that I got God's grace and power. When
Come
I get
on
on
now.
the other side of that fence, he got me.
Okay.
And
I'm
I'ma figure
make
out
this plain
what to do.
for you ladies out here.
Oh, Lord. Here you go.
If your child is in the crack house with
I'm
a bunch of crackheads, a bunch of guns, and all this stuff going on in there,
Mm-hmm.
and your child is in there, y'all don't think not 1 ounce about what's going to happen. You going in there to get your child.
I just said I'm going to get my child.
I'm going in there prepared.
I'm not going in there unprepared. That's the thing that people think. They think we ain't prepared. We're prepared. I'm going to get my child.
I'm just saying that most of the time you would react.
That is, can I tell?
Versus just.
I'm gonna prepare and react.
Okay, see, here's the thing. Now,
so you don't react first?
Okay.
Not all the time, no.
Okay, so this is where
y'all not being forthright.
We
now,
are.
back in the day,
said, Lucas said, "Here go Brother Carter."
Now,
Lucas,
back in the day, it would have been a reaction first.
Yeah.
Now that I'm seasoned,
okay, all right.
Now it's I'm gonna think about it, and then
But I'm still going in for my child.
I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my child.
Okay, but that's good. That's good. I like what you said right there, because
It's a difference.
Often, women.
Well, here you go with them sexist
you
comments.
go.
Why you keep saying that? See, here's a different. Why y'all want us? See, Brother Carter, I'm not letting you
We
get
ain't
away
gonna
with.
agree with that.
We ain't agreeing with that because
let
see,
that go.
just like y'all have to grow up, just like y'all have to grow up, we grow up too.
Right.
Now you guys hold us at a different level, Brother Carter. Now you can go and think before you go in, and even if I don't agree with it, you're saying I thought about it, right? So you going on in, and I'm thinking your idea may not be the right idea, but in your mind, you think it's right. If I get up and go, or Nicole get up and go, the first thing what your comment just said is like we're just being irrational,
Right.
but we done thought our stuff through too.
Yeah. Okay.
I just think
we
there's
might
some-
not have shared it with you.
We might not. There you go.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. I just think that sometimes, and not to be to generalize things as you mentioned, but
As Brother Carter just did.
right. I just said as you mentioned, but I just think that sometimes women move faster than men, and men move slower than women. So if somehow we could, kind of get in the middle where
Talk to Jesus.
yeah, where women slow down a little bit and men speed up a little bit.
I like that.
All right.
Yeah.
I like no, I like what you just said there
Mhm.
because oftentimes
Mhm.
men want us to slow down to your pace, but you're unwilling
To
to
speed up.
speed up.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then
Yeah.
when we're just walking,
Mhm.
but we're walking in a brisk way, you want to be back and be cool. That's the problem because we're trying to get somewhere.
Mm.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Mm.
So what say you, our listeners out there, to this conversation?
Well, they saying out there, but I'm gonna throw this question out there,
Okay.
and we're gonna get this conversation going. Do you think you live in the present, or do you live in the past? And the reason I'm asking that question
Mhm.
because when you talk about pumping the brakes,
Mm.
if you are still holding on to something in the past, you don't want to
Mhm.
move out of it because you ain't dealt with it.
Mhm.
But if you're in the present, you say, I got to shake this thing off. I got to keep going. So are
Mhm.
you in the present or in your past? And let's just take it from a business perspective.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to throw it at you, Thomas.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
great. I think I live in both, and the reason I say that is the past teaches me the mistakes I've made.
Okay.
Like I always tell Nicole, I had 10 childcare centers, a bunch of locations. I was growing fast. Now Nicole is on that side where her business is growing fast, and so I learned so much from making so many mistakes, losing tons of money,
Mhm.
that I'm living in the past as it relates to the mistakes, but in the future as to what she can be, her business can become, greater than whatever my business was. So to me, that's in the future. In the present. That's in the
Mhm.
present. But based on what I've learned in the past.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think sometime that because of what your loss was based off of your own journey,
Right.
do you think sometime you hold back or hold her back because you're afraid of her? Not because you don't trust she can do it, but you're afraid of her experiencing what you experienced.
Absolutely. And I said that to her, I know what it's like to lose, millions of dollars. And
Millions?
Millions. Yeah.
Help me today,
Help me
Lord
today.
Jesus.
Y'all see, you see what kind of people we have up here with us.
So I told her, that the mistakes I made were what I call Instagram stuff. Like I said, Instagram addiction is evil. Well, basically, that's the kind of thing I was doing. I was hanging out. I was flying to LA, Miami, just having a good time and not really focusing on the business. After a while, in the beginning, I was really into the business, but then when
the money started coming in,
money at a certain level,
right? And then some of the mistakes that I worry about with her is the staffing, making sure that you've got really good people that are really committed to working with you, because I allowed some people to continue to work with us that I probably shouldn't have.
Well, I think that's I think even for myself, even before I became an entrepreneur and I was working in corporate America, it's easier to keep the people even when those people are not good for you.
Right.
The hardest thing is to say, you know what? If I have to lose it all, you're not good for me.
Right.
What I've learned through this journey is if a person if they don't have the vision in their heart for what you're doing, you got to cut them. So I always say, and y'all hear me say Saturday in and Saturday out, I have the gift of goodbye.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have the gift of goodbye. And it's not, some people struggle with you when you say that. It sounds like it's cold, but it's not cold. I'm not holding on to anything that God has already released me from. And so when I say I have the gift of goodbye, whether it's in business, it's personal, it's friend, whatever, you have to let things go because if they're not a part of the vision, they're a part of destroying the vision.
Yeah, that's pumping your brakes, right?
Yeah, that's pumping your brakes.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely. But
it can even go deeper than that as far as when to saying if you have something in your past hindering you from going to your present. You know, we all have baggage, should I say, that things that have happened to us in our lives that we carry forth in our lives. And at some point, I believe, I'm not licensed like Nicole and have a license to say that. This is my unlicensed version.
This is unlicensed, but y'all get ready for it. It's coming.
That at some point we have to let go some things that happen to us in our lives, you know, in order for us to live in the present.
Yes.
You know, because it's difficult to live in your present when you have so much holding you back from your past.
Yeah, I walk through that past.
And it's scary. That's real good.
And it don't. And what I'm saying is, it shows up. Your past show up in a lot of different ways. You know, there's a lot of ways your past will show up and hinder your present. You know, and so many of us dealing with a lot of things in life today, and we have so many difficulties in our relationships, in our businesses, everything that we do because of what's behind us.
But I think you can't be, and anybody can jump in. This is a conversation. I think when you're afraid to, I have a doctor in the house. So when you're afraid to face what happened to you in your past, aren't you still stuck? And don't you sometimes hold other people hostage to that? Okay, can you talk about that? What is that called? Is there a diagnosis for that? Okay, because it took me a while, and there are still some areas that
I'm hurt by what my daddy did or didn't do.
Yeah, you know, there's still,
and those hurts are still there.
There's still that
I'm
trauma.
60 years old, and then I'm still hindered by when I was 5 years old.
He didn't take
That's because you haven't faced that trauma. You haven't
how
worked
do you
it
deal
out
with that
through therapy.
Oh, Brother Carter.
But first,
she said you need to go to counseling. She ain't told me that. She said I asked the question.
I come to counseling every Saturday.
But first, you have to realize that something actually happened, because some people suppress it. So it's so deep that they just act like nothing ever happened.
But is it that it's so deep that they're afraid? Because as soon as it kind of gets something, they kind of run from it.
Let's take someone who has been molested, for example.
Okay.
And
let's get deep, y'all.
They're afraid that someone, people don't believe them, or maybe it was date rape or something like that, and they never told anybody. So they just suppress it. But they're acting out in so many ways. It's affecting their relationship. It's affecting their job, because they can act out in so many ways. Either they can be promiscuous, and we're talking about a woman here. Or we can talk about
it. Can be a man.
We can talk about a man. It can come out and being promiscuous. They can come out in anger. It can come out
mistrust and not trusting nobody.
Exactly. And that comes out in your job. It comes out in relationship with how you raise your children. It comes out in so many ways, but it's up to that person to actually recognize it. Or sometimes if they have a person that they can trust, that calls them out on it.
But okay, I love that. But you got to, if you have someone that can call you out on it, you got to hear it.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have to be open and willing to acknowledge that you have a
hinders
problem.
Many people
that they not
getting into.
They don't want to hear it.
They
in denial. They don't want to hear what's going on. If you have 2 and 3 people that
telling you the same thing, you got issues.
You got a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
And you need to work on that
treatment.
problem, because it is definitely hindering you in some other areas of your life. Guaranteed, hands down.
Okay, y'all, this is such a good conversation. They putting up the card for me because they got some questions out here. Hey, listeners, we are so happy that you guys want to join in this conversation. Give it to us.
Brother Carter be getting stuff real deep in him because he's not a licensed individual. He just speaks on life experiences.
He's just an everyday brother. Huh?
Let
us know if you want to hear from the therapist.
My license, huh?
If y'all want the unlicensed response, or you want the licensed response, come on,
you're gonna get both. You're gonna get both. You're gonna get both.
All righty.
So we normally save the questions for the end, but I think these are really good for right now, for the conversation we're having right now. So we're gonna go with 2 questions.
Okay.
This one is from Ozrin on Facebook.
Hey, Oz.
He said, "How do you adapt your fear?"
Whoa.
Well, first of all,
I'm gonna leave that. She jumped right on in it. Come on, Nicole.
That's a good
fear
word.
is false evidence appearing real.
Oh, what is that again?
False evidence appearing real.
So in
it
their
hasn't even
mind,
happened yet.
they make it real.
You're making it real. It's something you're having all these thoughts of what could happen, what's gonna happen, what could possibly go wrong, but nothing has happened yet.
So you are locked in your own.
You are locked in doubting yourself and what you just wondering, and just have all these thoughts about what's going to go wrong, and you're afraid. For what reason? So it's all this fabrications in your mind.
Oh,
yeah. I just, a therapist told me dealing with anxiety that I was trying to predict the future.
Yep.
But is that a dealing with anxiety, or is that a man thing?
I think it's just dealing with anxiety.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's an individual thing.
But that was the first time that it made sense to me.
Yes.
Right.
Because I'm worried about something, like you said, didn't happen.
Or
Right.
Based on something, like I'm worried about losing because I lost.
because you lost.
You know,
yes.
Right.
So that's
Real good.
That was going to be my unlicensed perspective of this. That fear is showing up because of something behind you,
right.
and you keep on bringing the past to your present,
And that's depression.
and yes.
Oh, what
And
is that again?
Depression.
Yes, that's the
Your
license.
past
Yeah.
to your present.
Oh, wow, that's deep.
Say that again.
Depression.
Depression is bringing your past
to your
into
present.
your present.
I think that's what I want to make sure that my team. Can you look into the camera right here? No. It's a reason I want it, because it's gonna loop. What is depression?
Bringing your past to your present.
Just like that. Just
Like
that.
that simple.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
So let's address this question again. How do you adapt
To your fear.
to your fear? And I think the middle word you just put into that sentence will help you. You have to adapt. You have to acknowledge. You have to see it. Then this is the unlicensed version of this.
All right, let's make sure.
And that's my disclaimer.
Okay.
But it makes sense. Listen to me. You have to adapt. You put the right word right there.
Mhm.
So if you start adapting to that fear, you more likely can get past that
And
fear.
conquer it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
I need a license.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Give me a license.
She gave a license.
I appreciate, but I need, but I need her to come back
Okay.
on what you just said.
Okay.
So first of all, you have to figure out, what are you afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
That's first and foremost. What's going on? What are you fearing?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what may be going on, but if you are, let's say if you have an interview and you're scared,
Mm-hmm.
then are you prepared?
Mm-hmm.
That means you're lacking confidence,
Come on now.
self-esteem.
Right.
So you're afraid because something is missing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know that you are the full package, and if you are the right person, you have it all together. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
then there's nothing to fear, and it's their loss. It's not yours.
Well, it's so funny you brought that up, because my dad, Lord rest his soul, always told me, he said,
Fear no man.
fear no man, every man put their pant leg on one leg at a time. When you walk in that room, you get on the other side of that door, you belong on the other side of the door. So,
and if it didn't happen or something didn't work for you, then there's something greater.
There's something greater
waiting for you.
Yeah, and if that doesn't mean that you lost because it didn't work out there.
Right.
It's probably you had to go through this to get to that.
And there's a lesson in that journey.
Okay,
Right.
there you go.
And so before we leave this, let me give you a scripture
Okay.
to go with that fear. For God did not give us the spirit of fear,
Mhm.
but of power, love, and of a sound mind. You can find that in Timothy somewhere. I can't give you exactly where it's at, but go to Timothy and you can read that to encourage yourself.
All righty.
What's the next question?
Well, I actually wanted to add to this one a little bit.
Okay.
So I like the question, the way it was phrased, how to adapt to our fear. And I feel like that is to be adaptable. We had the acronym CONTROL, and I myself am a self-proclaimed control freak. And I've learned that my fear comes from lack of control.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to be okay with it. You have to let go, let God take you on the path that you're supposed to be on.
Mhm.
You're not always in charge of your journey
Mm.
or your destination
Wow.
either.
Get off my feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
I'm saying the
was,
same thing.
that was
Yeah,
deep.
that's a good word.
That
Yeah.
was very
Yeah.
good. See? All right. Then they want to talk about you not praying. Talking about they working on you. Pray just then.
I told you she
Come
doing
on
good.
now. She doing right.
coming
All
on
right.
good.
Then. All righty
We
then.
got another question. This is from Rosemary Fletcher.
Hey, Rosemary.
Hey, Rosemary.
And this is kind of more like for you guys to speak on your own experiences. Obviously, we're all on our own journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've overcome some things. But are there any things, any past situations that are overshadowing your present currently?
Ooh. I'm not
That's
saying
a
it.
good
first.
question.
You want? I can take it now. I'll take it.
Okay.
My
You asking me something personal now.
that's
Rosemary.
we supposed to be transparent.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll put myself out there. Read that question one more time.
Uh-oh.
Do you guys have any past situations that are overshadowing your present?
Overshadowing your
Or
present.
maybe I would use the word lingering. Like maybe it's not like taking over, but it's still something that like you're working on overcoming, but maybe it's still lingering there.
If I can be honest, 100% is not knowing that my dad was as sick as he was. And so maybe with that, I'm even more intentional about making sure I'm taking care of my mother to the point that it can probably come off as a little smothering. So that's probably still lingering, if I be honest with myself.
So I believe everyone have.
But
I don't know.
don't
if
make
it's-
it everybody.
No,
but they
no. I'm getting there.
okay.
I believe everyone has something. I wouldn't say overshadowing. I wouldn't use that word, but like we've been saying on the show, that there are some things in the past that
We're still holding on to.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
that hinders us from actually enjoying the very presence that we have in our lives today. And so, wow.
But
I wouldn't say overshadowing.
But
though,
I
'cause
do. But that's the question he asked. But I do think I do enjoy taking care of my. But I think what I really wanted to put out there is that in my mind, I really never, even though I saw my dad, he was, in a wheelchair and on a scooter, but I didn't see him being that sick. And so, as close as I was to my dad was the strongest man I had ever seen. So I knew he was going to be okay. So getting to the point that I talked to him that morning and he ended up in the hospital and never came out. I can't even phantom that. And I still have to deal with that along with some other things that came out. So that would be it.
That's a struggle.
That's a struggle.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aaron.
And so I kind of like how the question is worded because it says overshadow. It doesn't say overcome.
Come on now.
It doesn't say that it's something that affects you. All a shadow does is change the lighting, maybe change the temperature a little bit. If you're in a hot room, it might just add a different light, but it doesn't overcome you and it doesn't control you.
So it's it's certain times that it comes there. Is what you're saying? What are you saying?
So,
I think
so a shadow follows you though.
Well, it depends if you stand behind it. That's the thing. If you stand,
say that. What you heard? What she said?
But a
I'm
shadow
step off, I'm gonna leave it out
sometimes
of
can
it.
ride the side of you. It can get in front of you.
Yeah.
So the shadow can be anywhere.
well, the thing that's causing a shadow is typically some kind of wall, right? And so the wall you have to, or like whatever that is causing a
some kind
shadow,
of
you have to
reflection,
walk
right.
behind it, or you go behind it when you get into those certain situations. In some ways, it's like a security measure. In some ways, it's just a place of familiarity because the shade is cooler than the heat. But what you do with that wall is what you do with it. The shadow might be something that lingers, but it's not something that controls or takes over. It's how you interact with it.
All right.
Okay.
Technical.
Come on, deep.
Good doc.
So
So
next question on the show. Oh, you had something?
Wait a minute, Brother Carter.
Oh, you got something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would have to say to Miss Rosemary, my situation in the past is in a relationship, I had someone pass away tragically. And that is still brought to the forefront in certain situations. So when Thomas goes certain places, you know, I expect a check-in every now and again. If I haven't heard from him,
It's that
in so
worry,
many,
that fear show
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
From that past situation.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And from the
So-
kids as well. So anybody in my family, I expect to check in.
So you're not just want him to check in just because you're insecure.
No,
You
not at
want him-
all.
You
That's
want
not
him
it.
to check in because you have those worries.
Right.
Thomas, check in now.
I always.
I think that
always-
is trauma,
yeah,
right?
it
Like
is.
it's
Yeah.
trauma, and that's how you kind of deal with that trauma is by getting that extra reassurance
Right.
when you need it.
Right.
She did her, what's it called, thesis on that. You know, she did a thesis on that. So, you know, I definitely, it's been a part of her life. I mean, to be that young and have someone that you're dating and they pass away just suddenly like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a clear picture of what we were talking about, having your past in your present.
Right.
You know, the past always show up in some shape, form, or
It
fashion.
does.
You know, you may not know, it may not affect you directly at some point, but there are also triggers that
Where
come
it
up.
shows
where
up, yes.
it show up.
Yeah, that's true.
I do have a question for y'all, kind of in relation to this one. We're talking about overshadowing and how to navigate that. Would you say that like these shadows cause you to pump the brakes or to forget to pump the brakes?
You know, originally, after my situation, it caused me to pump the brakes in a relationship because I didn't want to get close to anybody. It's hard getting in with me.
Oh yeah,
with
it definitely was. It was very tough.
It's hard for me to form relationships because of that loss, and it was a very tragic loss.
Yeah, it's like being, you know, in a relationship with someone who they'll listen to you, what your problems and your thoughts are, but you never hear from them, their problems and their thoughts. And that's how it was when we first got together. Yeah. But for me, pumping the brakes, you know, my mother died when I was 7. And what I've seen over the years, people have told me, women, my own children, that I'm not a very sensitive guy. You know, and maybe it's because I as the old folks say, I was a motherless child. You know, I never had that nurturing. I mean, my grandmother did, you know, the best she could, but it causes me to pump the brakes sometimes when I realize that, you know, I'm not being sensitive. You know, I have 3 daughters who remind me constantly, Dad, you're just not being sensitive. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all need to toughen up a little bit here, you know. But I pump my brakes now because I realize that is one of the things that I have to work on. Yeah.
Man.
I came back
That's
on
good.
something very good because on sensitive. Sometimes you fathers, you men, can't y'all not as sensitive as even as sensitive as women need you to be? Because again, I think that goes back to the logic. You know, we are emotional beings. My thought on that, and I think about sometime when the girls call, even the boys. I don't think it matters with you. If they call, you're on the phone. You want to see how they doing, and then you're off the phone.
Yeah, how y'all doing? You okay? All right. I love you.
Okay, but what is that all about, baby?
It's just me.
Or is it that it's a reason behind that you don't stay on the call long?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
I need to talk to Nicole about
Nicole,
that.
what is that called? Is that because you think they're gonna ask you?
Is that avoidance?
Oh, ooh.
Now you talk about asking for something.
Ooh, okay, what is that called? Okay, see?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay, I appreciate that. That is what it is.
I have. I know that some of my kids are on the call today. They're sitting there
Please
listening.
call in, children, because ours is on there too. Send us a message. Do whatever you got to do. Call us out on our stuff.
She's on here now because she texts me. But here's the thing I don't like, and I said this to her: when you call me, don't go through a 5-minute friendly.
Just come on,
conversation.
get to
Just
it.
tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, but see, that's why he heard
Just
and get
get
off the
to
call
it,
too.
yeah.
Why do y'all do
Well,
that?
let me go to the parent version. Is
Okay.
it you want to disconnect the call because you don't want them to ask you
Ask
for
you-
anything?
Oh, come on now. Is that what it is?
That's
Let's
part.
be
That's part.
Let's
That's
be
part.
real. Okay, so we know we got some children out there listening,
And we
Yeah.
love you.
and we
We
love
do.
y'all so much. So
To
here's
all of y'all.
so here's how we need y'all to deal with this. If you're calling your daddy, get to the
Do
point.
it.
Get to it.
Get to the
it.
point.
Get
Now, if
to
y'all
it.
just over there just acting like ain't nothing going on, trust me, they not gonna hold the phone too long.
Because let me tell you something, children. I was once a child,
Okay,
Mhm.
what that mean?
and I know the signs when I hear them because I
It's like-
perform those same
it's like-
signs.
Uh,
My daddy, if he's on the phone on the line listening right now,
Oh,
he would also say the same thing. It was a point, and he hated to see me call him
Right.
okay.
because he know this boy wants something. I know,
But see, my
but
old.
now he welcomed my call because I'm not.
Well,
asking
hold
him.
on one second. Now you because my children stepped up. Our firstborn said, Lanita, she said, but what if you not asking for anything? You just want to talk.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
Well, yes, you do. Okay,
Well,
Nita, he said
no,
you don't have a problem with
I
that.
don't need nobody crossing their legs trying to talk to me. If you want to talk,
He say y'all, you come on, Nita. What he say? He say y'all running my light bill up.
that's what I tell them all the time. I say, you've been on the phone long enough now. Get off my line now. You're running my bill up.
And we have a therapist in here, a doctor. So can you diagnose him real quick for our children so they can know what's going on with it?
he ain't trying to get into nothing. That's what it is. He don't want
Oh.
you
He
to
don't,
get
he don't want to have to.
he done.
I don't want to know nothing. I don't ask nothing.
So, but they can tell you
He
if you
said
need
he
to
wants
be.
you to live your own life.
Oh,
Pretty
wow.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, do well. We
Yeah.
done. I done that part when you was little.
So that's still, but you never stop parenting.
No,
Right.
I ain't stop parenting.
You're always a parent.
You
They
all-
need your advice.
They need your advice,
I'm
but you
open
got to
for that.
give
Or
them
they might be on the
space.
news. You don't want to be on
You
the
don't know,
news.
so you got to
Because the
give,
news people gonna show up at your door.
so
and
you
they gonna ask you questions.
Yeah, so you got to give people their ability.
You got to get the people what they want. Huh?
Yeah, give it to them.
Yeah.
Come on,
Gotta
give
give
them.
them what they need.
Yeah, okay.
They
Come on,
do
Mama.
need our advice. They need to talk to
They
us.
need to
Well,
talk.
okay. Especially
Now,
these
so
days.
once
Thank
you
you,
get on the
Anita.
phone, you say, "What type of call is this?"
Baby, Nita say he need help. That's what your daughter say. You need help. Therapy coming.
God
right,
bless
come
you, baby.
All right, come on in here. Aaron, Abigail has some more questions for us from the audience.
I was going to add to that and say, I've also noticed that like parents might be like, oh, I don't want, you to call me too much because you might need something. But then it comes to a certain point where your kids become an age and you're like, why don't they call me anymore?
Right.
My kids don't need me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So how can like a parent find that balance of like,
That's
Oh,
really
Dad
good.
does
That's
not
true.
have a problem with that.
Oh, baby, Angelin came in the room. Baby, your
Mhm.
children coming for you. The oldest, the 5
Baby done.
is in the room now. She say, but parenting, you're still a parent.
All right.
And
That's
she
true.
said, has stages. Mm.
Mhm.
Parenting has
Has
stages.
stages.
It
I agree
does.
with that
I
because
agree.
I do when they call me when they want something. It's like it's the wrong time
But that's the
And
wrong time for you.
for me.
Okay.
But it's the right time for them.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is sometimes when they don't call me, it's like getting a car fixed. You go from bad to worse. And they don't call me, and then the situation gets so bad. I
Yeah.
asked them, "Why didn't you call me?"
Because you made them feel
before?
uncomfortable when they
Probably
tried to
so.
call.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you probably
y'all
right.
need
Very
counseling.
insensitive.
Y'all need some counseling.
Well,
We gotta-
I'll be the first to tell you I need counseling because
Yeah.
I know too much.
He has too many.
At least you acknowledge it.
non-licensed,
All I can tell
occupations.
y'all is your children
You've
is
acknowledged.
wearing you out over here. Okay, give us another question.
I do not have a problem acknowledging my issues in life.
Good.
Yeah.
I can do that.
That's where you start.
Yes.
That's the
a good
start.
thing.
Just kind of like when you're
And I
addicted
can
to.
admit
Mhm.
I have issues in life.
But when are you
Yeah,
gonna start
same.
working on it? You
I'm
keep
working on
admitting
it constantly.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm daily working. I just haven't got to
Oh.
where you want me to be in life. So
Oh.
I'm just-
oh, baby! Somebody said, and it's your baby girl.
Okay,
the
let's get back to the show.
coach, and the consultant. Oh, you need to be the captain, the coach, and the consultant.
Yeah, they did all of that.
Mhm.
And as an entrepreneur, are you always anticipating the next step?
He done flipped the
He's
script.
jumping angel.
They ready. They ready.
He done already. He done hung up the phone.
He done hung up the phone. Okay, so who you want?
So
to
as an entrepreneur, are you always looking forward to the next step, or do you take some time out to just enjoy the fruits of your labor at that one project that you do?
Oh, well, I'll let you go, and then I'm gonna take.
I'm
that.
always looking for
Because
the
you guys
next step.
are business minded, so
Mhm.
just all the time business is on your mind, and so that's why I'm asking: do you ever take the time to just stop before you're going into the next?
So I'm always looking for the next step. He's the one who pumps the brakes, so it tells me, okay, we need to mellow out. We need to hold up until the money is right, or we, get to a certain place, because he does all the projecting financially for the company.
Mm-hmm.
But I am the one who comes up with usually the next program, or the next, if it's something not dealing with focus point,
Mm-hmm.
it could be the next business idea.
Mhm.
So, but he tells me,
Yeah.
like, I'm working on something that I'm really anxious to unroll,
Unroll.
other than the candles.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had this conversation yesterday. He was like, all right, just give it like 2 more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get started.
Yeah,
Wait,
because I'm married to one
I'm not sitting here, y'all.
that
I'm not even in the room. Go ahead.
that she come out of one big project and going in, and when you before she's out of the project, she's already moving into another project. So what do you say to
Well, I can-
someone?
let me-
Wait!
Nah,
I'm talking
I
to the
need
therapist.
Roll with it. Roll
But the
with it.
therapist needs therapy also
Got
on
that
this
right.
same situation.
Everyone should have a good therapist.
Okay.
Everyone should.
So I'm gonna say this.
So-
When you are a business person, anybody in business, we can go to Bill Gates or some of the
Mhm.
multi. Nobody in business is standing still with
No,
a successful
I'm not-
business.
I'm not saying
I
stand
didn't
still.
interrupt you, Brother Carter.
I'm saying when you just got out of one huge project and moved to another one, prior to even getting out of the project, you already moving to another huge project.
Because
And these
well,
projects
let me just-
cost.
Let me answer the
Mhm.
question. You move into the next project because God dropped that in my spirit before I even started moving. You just seen it. Okay.
Oh.
Now I'm not saying that it's
So-
right or
so-
wrong.
so we're gonna blame it on God. Okay.
Well, he did. I wouldn't have.
Okay.
No, literally, I know he dropped it in my spirit.
Mhm.
So what you talking about? Oh, you talking about a party? Oh,
I'm just talking about projects.
Oh, okay.
I ain't calling nothing out.
okay.
I'm just saying the projects be costing money, and you moving into another.
Can you just
project.
let's move on to the people's
Okay.
questions? I don't know.
So I want to ask the therapist.
You saying she should pump her brakes?
No. I want you to think not of yourself, outside of yourself,
Oh, he said.
and speak to your sister about moving in projects after project after project.
That's the pot call.
But I'm gonna
See
be,
how messy they are? They talking about the pot call and celebrate. Y'all, please help us over
That's why,
here.
hey, Thomas, that's why I said I want you to cut your own self off at the thinking of yourself. I just want you to speak to your sister on this.
so it would actually depend on how much of the money that I am putting out,
Thank you.
because I'm very financially responsible
There you go.
in everything.
In
that I
everything
do.
that I do,
Yeah.
I am. You just might know when I'm not.
Okay, it's not a fight. It's not a fight.
Okay. So
it's just a
help me.
discussion.
Okay, well, let's go there.
Yeah.
I am very financially responsible, but because he can't control it, you don't see it.
Mm,
You don't see you
mm.
don't see the whole picture, baby. Because
Well, I know.
you do, what money are you talking
Let's
about?
see, what is the next question?
Oh Lord, give us.
I actually want to
Go ahead.
have a follow-up question for that. So do you think you guys are like so driven and always kind of anticipating that next step? Do you feel like that comes from a place of never being satisfied?
Ooh,
That's a great
Ooh.
question.
Girl, get out of.
maybe she just
I'ma be
like my
honest.
mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other
Well,
Come on.
go ahead. Nicole.
I always
when
say,
doves cry?
I
You
always
wanted
say,
to answer.
I always say that I am grateful,
Mm-hmm.
I am blessed, and I'm thankful for everything that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But why do I have to be satisfied and complacent?
There you go.
I'm a go-getter.
And I'm not
I'm
gonna
an-
make no excuses because
I'm an entrepreneur,
Okay.
a true entrepreneur.
Thank
That
you.
means that I am not a shopkeeper.
Mm.
I'm not that worker anymore. I used to be because that's
Mhm.
how I started. That's how I think everybody should start their business as being a
Mhm.
worker. You have to work the business before you can be at a certain level
Mhm.
in the business. I'm a business owner now.
Mhm.
So why should I be satisfied or stagnated?
Mm.
That's what I call
Okay.
being just satisfied.
I got a question on that.
Complacent.
I got a question on that.
What people?
Is there a ceiling at any?
Nah,
No,
There's no ceiling.
absolutely
No
not.
roof.
I ain't done yet.
There's nothing.
No,
The
not
Not done
ceiling
yet.
is what,
sky is the limit.
what
Sky
do
is the
I
limit.
will when that time for me to that gap.
Okay.
God gonna make it plain.
Right.
All right.
And so I'm not gonna allow someone else's.
No. Don't get it twisted. Nobody want to dim nobody's
no,
light.
that's not
in
what I
here.
was getting ready to
Okay.
say. I'm not. Of course you have.
No,
You've never done
No,
that.
never wanna
What
do
I'm
that.
saying, and I'm looking into the camera.
Mhm.
I'm not going to measure myself based off of someone else.
That's right.
My
Absolutely.
ability is my ability, what God put inside of me.
What's for me is
So
Right.
I'm going to move at the pace and the journey that God has pushed me to do.
Mm.
That's
And
where
me
I'm-
and God move in silence.
we move in silence. You see it when you see it. Oh, that was a mic drop. Oh, okay. I did.
These mics too expensive to drop for real.
Sorry, I just
Shoot.
wanted to ask real quick. Is it because like kind of like the entrepreneur mindset y'all are talking about? And I don't think it's that you don't find satisfaction. I think feel free to comment, but
Yeah.
do you think you find satisfaction in the process more than the project?
I love the
Yeah.
process. I love the
Yeah.
that you, Aaron.
I get a high off
Girl.
of the thoughts that come into my head.
Mhm. How
and
can I
then
figure this out? Yeah.
seeing
Is it like an
actually
orgasm or something like
executed.
that?
Yes.
Yes.
And then to have my partner over here
Mhm.
work
With
my vision
Mm.
out and it actually come to fruition is like the best feeling
Yeah.
ever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think sometimes we sit around and we say one of the things we try not to do, or at least I try not to do, is talk about business all the time
Mhm.
at home. But we both agree that we feel like we haven't done enough. We
Mhm.
always feel like that. We feel like we are underachieving.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But we have to sit back and we look at how God has blessed us and how he's allowed us to be a blessing to so many people who work for us.
Along the way,
You know,
yeah.
people getting cars and houses and putting their kids through school and
Mhm.
college
Mhm.
and
Paying
it's
their school loan.
paying,
Mhm.
right. Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we've even
Yeah.
gotten to a point now where people who work for us can get their student loans written off.
Mhm.
So
I need a job. Can I come work? please?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that, you know, when you look at that and
Yeah.
you say, I just don't think I've done enough.
Mhm.
I've made that kind of impact on my community. You just continue to want to do that. Now, I love vacations
Mhm.
and I always love going somewhere where there's some water.
Mhm.
So we do try to take a vacation like once every 3 months or so.
I think that's great.
Yeah, because we realize we need that because we work constantly.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that
Mhm.
because for me, when I'm at work, I need to work because I'm constantly working, but I need my vacation.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things that Brother Carter Lawrence helps me out with a lot. He's
Mhm.
ready to go,
Yeah.
but I have to have it because as long as I'm here, I'm not turning it off.
Mhm.
But when I go on vacation, because I messed up one time, I
Mm.
brought my computer, my laptop. I might as well stayed home.
Mm.
I don't do that no more.
Well, I still take my laptop with me everywhere that I go, no
Oh.
matter what, because I just never know what's going to happen. And I'm it. I'm the boss. So
Well, I go with this now, and I can do
Yeah.
limited
She
work.
gotta- yes.
And so you got to shut it down.
I
what we're
don't
talking about
work
today.
as
We're
much.
talking
Pump
about
your
learning
brakes.
how to
Yeah.
pump the brakes.
I
Going
don't know
back-
how to do that.
Okay, I don't
I'm
either,
I'm
but
a-
I'm talking. I'm talking.
I'm
to
just
myself.
letting you know. I'm letting everybody know I'm in front of the camera. I don't
Go ahead
know
and tell them
how
the truth.
to
Go ahead.
pump the brakes. There's my truth. I'm gonna sit in
In
it.
it. Did y'all
And
hear
so
him?
having said
10
that
toes.
and being able to say that,
Mhm.
you have acknowledged it.
Exactly.
And I guarantee you're going to learn how to pump your brakes now because you openly just
I already
spoke
knew
of
that.
it. Yeah. And so God is going to help you in that situation, I
She already
believe,
know what to do.
and helping you to just
You
say,
think I just had a revelation?
no.
No.
No, but what you said earlier was sometimes you got to recognize it
Yeah.
in
See,
order to
right.
change
See,
it or
yeah.
arrange it.
Already-
Yeah.
Okay, well,
knew
we
that.
got to answer some of these questions.
I'm just
before we
saying
go.
the same thing you said.
Oh, because I said it out
Can
loud.
we let
Yes.
the people on here get in this conversation? Come on, Abigail,
I
give us a few
profess
more.
and
Y'all,
But
something else.
this is what we do on the Love and Victory show with Val. We
get
help
ourselves healed.
we heal ourselves and the people that are on the show with us. It's called self-development what we have here.
Well, it
And
goes.
you learn how to develop your own self in this atmosphere.
Mhm.
But I think Abigail has something. Let me shut up. I'm not the host of this show.
Ooh,
That's right.
You did so good,
That's
baby.
right. It's the Love and Victory show with Val. And she said she wants a
It's a
question.
reason with Val is there, huh?
He's getting it. He's understanding
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You're training him well.
Keep repeating it. You
It
the best.
took 2 or 3 years.
I
but I'm
don't care
getting
what
there.
nobody say. He the baddest co-host anybody could ask for. Go on, hit on.
There you
Brother
go.
Carter.
That's right. Okay, so we have some of these are from the beginning of the conversation.
Okay.
So this is from Natalie, and she's asking you, Nicole, is it possible to cure someone's addiction? Whether it be, and I'm going to extend that a little bit further, whether it be drugs or like Mr. Hardnett said earlier, attention
Yeah.
Or
or
sex addiction.
a sex addiction.
Yeah, addiction is an addiction.
Mhm.
So the question is, are they trying to cure someone else's addiction, or
Or-
is the person that's
Is
addicted?
it possible to cure someone's
addiction.
addiction?
Someone
So
else.
if I had the addiction, well, I'm gonna put it on you because
I'm
you
gonna
say you
just
don't know how
say
to turn
no.
it off.
I'm gonna say no flat out to the question.
But that's your unlicensed.
Yeah.
Okay, is it possible?
If a person is an addict,
Mm,
they're always going
Gonna
to
be
be
an
an
addict.
addict.
okay.
So they may not be addicted to the same substance, but usually the addiction will go to something else. So
Ooh.
if they were smoking crack,
Mhm.
they may go to smoking cigarettes.
Mm.
They may go to
Eating ice cream.
drinking. Yeah,
Overeating.
they have that addictive behavior.
Mm.
It's genetically wired.
Mhm.
So it's going to move on to something else.
So it never
Hopefully that
goes-
something else is not going to be as harsh as crack,
Mm.
but it will be something else.
Wow.
So if
And-
someone's struggling with an addiction, you think maybe they should focus that addiction maybe on something a little bit less harmful?
Yeah. First, they need to recognize that they have an addiction.
Mhm.
That's the first. Is
That's
the
the
recognition.
first step. That's
Yes.
that's right. Admit
That's
it.
the first.
Yeah.
Admit that you have an addiction, and if you can't cure or release the addiction yourself, seek help.
Mhm.
That's the first thing. And then they always say change people, places, and things.
Change that environment.
Change your
Change the environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I got something to add to that
mhm.
because as a
Come on,
former
baby.
crackhead,
Look at God. Want to clean you up?
and speaking to people that have been on crack cocaine
Mhm.
for a long time, I say all the time, you can change. You can go to Uganda, Africa,
Mhm.
and if you don't change your mind
That's right.
about what you want to do, you're gonna run into the crackhead in Uganda, Africa somewhere, and
You're
you're
gonna
gonna end
speak
up
the
doing the
same-
You
same
can
thing because you
always-
never change your thinking.
Right.
Right.
So a man has to change the way he think in order to
Change that addiction.
change
Change
the
that
addiction.
That
Yeah,
addiction.
right.
Mhm.
But as she said, the license,
That's
Doctor over here said
that's a
it's
licensed
something-
version though. I just gave
you gave an unlicensed baby.
No, that was a license.
Baby, you can't. Don't put that out. You are unlicensed.
Why I'm not I'm licensed. I
No,
was a
you-
crackhead, and
Oh.
so I'm licensed.
Y'all gotta love Brother Carter. I know y'all love some Brother Carter. I love you,
So
baby.
Daddy give me the license.
That's you, baby. You got a license. for
That's
that.
one license I
You
have.
got one license.
There you
But
go.
I'll tell for the young lady, if I have someone that is suffering from addiction with you in your family or whatever, the worst thing you can do is be an enabler for that addicted individual.
Amen.
Ooh.
Meaning helping it along, giving them money,
Right.
Believing sometimes
Their
their
lies.
stories,
Mhm.
their stories,
Right.
and you are just as bad as the addict themselves.
Okay.
And let's put this disclaimer up there, because addictions come in many forms.
They do.
As you know,
They do.
as it's like Nicole said, she's gonna keep on doing business. That's an addiction for her. She's just gonna keep on doing it. Ain't stopping until I can stop.
Yeah, Brother
I'm
Carter
just
is-
saying
okay.
though. I mean, it's just not to make light of what you're doing, but I just want to bring clarity to what addictions are.
Right.
And addictions come in many forms. So
Mm-hmm.
Very
you have to
good.
acknowledge what that addiction is to you.
Right.
Okay, well, that was Brother Carter. You know what your
I told you I know a lot of
You-
stuff.
you know a
Yeah,
lot of
there's so
stuff.
many addictions. There's gambling, there's
Yeah.
shopping, there's eating, there's
Yeah.
smoking.
You
It
name
is. It's you can be addicted to anything.
Instagram, TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Attention seeking, what you
Yeah.
brought up earlier. Yeah.
Exactly.
Social media is an addiction I'm overcoming.
Okay.
I'm
Speak
trying
that
to,
thing.
yeah, spend less time on social media, spend more time, in the real world,
Okay.
existing.
Right.
Existing.
Yeah.
Come on, give it to us.
So we'll do another question. I like this one. This is from Sandy Park on YouTube.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, Sandy.
She says, "Does past matter in a relationship?"
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You if you've been on this show, you understand that past does matter.
Yeah.
And the thing is this.
How long you gonna lay in the past?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Getting over that past is recognizing that past and then getting over that past
Mm-hmm.
and able for you to enjoy your presence. Am I making sense?
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
drag.
it makes a lot of
Okay,
sense to
so
me.
if you had a bad relationship with a guy, okay,
Ooh, I can't even imagine.
and then you got rid of that guy because he was this, that, and other. Here I come along, you got this wall up
Oh,
because what he did, what Jimbo did.
so I'm not even
And
giving
so,
you a chance.
yeah.
Right.
You
I'm
treat me
holding you
just like
hostage.
a
And you ain't done nothing but came in.
I'm
trying to love.
accountable for what he did
And-
way back in the day, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell wrong with this woman. Now, can she
Right. You need to realize that people are different. When you break up and move on into another relationship, first of all, you need to give yourself a chance to heal. And
Stop jumping right into a
you-
relationship.
Right. You need to take time to know yourself, know what you like, know what you don't like, who you want, who you don't want, whether you want light, dark, brown, whatever. If you have kids, not all that type of stuff. You need to know all of that before you just go jumping into things.
And the first thing, and I know we got to tighten this up. The first thing, and man, I know a few things. We got to get rid of some. We have to get rid of some of these daddy issues we have in life. And that's our first hurt in life. Comes from most people. It's from their dad. Daddy issues. You grow up with these daddy issues. I'm a victim. I know what I'm talking about.
Not only that, they're trauma, that unresolved trauma,
and nobody know how to deal with it.
Well,
apparently, because it still shows up,
right?
In everybody's
because you
lives.
ain't never dealt with it. You gotta
They
deal with it.
ignoring it.
I'm not talking about.
But you just said I got daddy issues.
Yeah, we all do. You
Okay.
do too.
I do, but
Yes, you do.
I put it on the table.
No,
I do.
no.
Okay, well, thank
No.
you.
That actually, I think, is a good segue into the next two questions.
We have fights on this show. We debate. Yeah.
I'm going to put them both up because I feel like we can kind of blend them together. So
Okay.
this one is from Darnell Harper on YouTube.
What's up, D?
Can childhood trauma be a reason for depression?
Mm-hmm.
And then if our past hinders our future, what should we do?
Oh.
So kind of to what
go
you
ahead.
said, Brother Carter, if we have these daddy issues or issues from a past relationship or whatever that may be, or childhood trauma, how can we cure that so that we can be better people, better partners, better people in a relationship?
First thing you need to do is recognize.
There
that
you go.
You have to recognize
got to deal
it,
with that.
and then you need to seek help. You need to talk about it. You need to find someone to talk about it. Hopefully, a licensed professional.
You can't keep not acknowledging it,
Right.
and saying I got it together,
Because it's only going to get worse.
Because it's only going to get
Because then
worse.
you're in denial.
Because it's all in your head that you think you got it together.
So what I'm seeing is people don't ever ask the question right in front of you. Why do I do this? Why do I act like
Because
this?
they don't want the answer.
They
don't want to answer.
What we do is blame
Everybody
else.
Oh, so my dad did this, or my mom did that. All right, now that's affecting you.
Yeah.
So now you realize that this is something that's affecting you. Now let's do something about it.
Yeah,
because you can't keep
and
you,
they keep running. They want to run.
To my point is what I'm saying.
Okay, well,
let's just say,
can I?
for instance, I go off.
Okay.
I just go off on you. Just
We
for
running
no
over
reason.
on this show, y'all. It's gonna be all right.
And I don't. There's a reason I'm going off on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it got a lot to do with something that happened.
Well, not
Right.
necessarily.
Or something you saw.
Oh,
No.
Maybe it's something you saw.
Because I react this way all the time. Okay, so that
who is
lets me
that?
know that I have there's an issue. Let's say I cry because I'm a crier. Okay, I put myself out here.
You like to look
I
at those
cry.
things on
I cry
movies.
over movies and music or something that happens
I
in the
do too,
movie, and then
brother.
I just start crying. You know,
I do.
and I be like, why in the hell do I be crying?
Mhm.
And I always think back to when my daddy was on the ship, and I see that ship going off into the sea, and I cried like a baby every time I seen that. And so I have to recognize, I know where it stemmed from, but how do I stop crying as a grown man?
Can you get that? Because I'm gonna give you the unlicensed version of it, because it was more than your daddy leaving on that ship. Because
No, you can't tell my story, man.
I ain't trying to tell you. Okay,
No,
Did
can we
someone
get
else leave you? You have separation anxiety?
Okay,
Yeah,
come on.
somebody must have something like
See
that.
what I'm
yeah.
saying? You see, it's, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, my daddy was in my life at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, he left
Mhm.
after that, so I was crying while he was in my life.
I know.
Okay, so I know it's an issue right there somewhere.
But I'm not. That's not what I was.
But you
saying.
can't tell my story. I know my story. I can't tell your story, can I?
I wasn't trying to, baby. This
Okay,
is,
so
we ain't
this
got,
is-
this is
we
a
gotta
long
wrap it
distance
up.
show. We good. we ain't gonna avoid this. All I'm saying is, at some point, and I need to look to the therapist, the
Mhm.
doctor. At some point, whether it's, I'm gonna put it on myself.
Mhm.
If I have, and I do have some issues with feeling left, not being defended.
Mhm.
Okay. So because of some trauma that happened to me as an adult. Okay. So when I'm placed in a situation where I have to protect myself, I
Mhm.
go to fight or flight.
Mhm.
And I feel like, and I'm not fighting, I feel like there is no one stepping in doing it. I got to do it.
Mhm.
So if I get to that place, then the one that should be there for me
Mhm.
is not there for me. You can't talk to
Well,
me.
we can do a whole show on that. We can really do a show on that.
But they don't necessarily have to do with you. But I'm just saying, to me, what is that, Kyle? What is that? Come on, come on. You're a doctor. We good on the Love and Victory Show with Val. We keep it all real. Give it to me.
You're just protecting yourself.
Mhm.
That's it. Because you are scared of what may happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know how the other person is going to react.
Mhm.
So you reacting ahead of time.
Okay, good. See, y'all, it's a condition, Kyle.
But that way you don't have to worry about what they're going to do, because you got you.
You got you.
That's what that is.
That's what that's called.
You don't. That's
We're gonna
basically
we're
that's
gonna
what
talk
that is.
more about that on the Tasteful and Toxic show.
Oh, y'all got
with
to go
Brother
check
Carter.
out. Y'all know.
And that's not the totality of it. But
Y'all
in
know we have
a
another
situation,
We
that's
have another
really what that boils
Brother
down
Carter
to.
is a host of his own show. It's called Tasteful and Toxic.
Mm-hmm.
He always pressed me to be the toxic one. but I'm gonna be tasteful today.
I don't have control over you, honey.
I know it's gonna be good. Check us out. Tell them about it. Tell them about it.
Today's show is control.
Oh, he is so
control one own being.
Have y'all enjoyed this show? Have y'all enjoyed this show or what? We're gonna wrap it up, and I'm going to go over to our wonderful guests and ask them to give us a quick your experience on the show and what you would like to.
We didn't even get to the nitty gritty of everything that we had to talk about. It was
very nitty and it was very gritty.
Different kind of nitty.
There you go. It's the kind that we needed, you know. So I'm going to ask you guys to tell the listeners what your experience was on the show and leave them with whatever you think that's going to help them as we wrap it up. And I'll start with you first, Nicole. Dr. Hardnett.
Well, the first thing is, this show was about pumping your brakes. So you should know when to pump your brakes. Because even though I said I don't pump my brakes, I do know when to pump my brakes.
There you go.
And don't try to do it. Let's say this term. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses.
Ooh, come on now.
Because you don't know how the Joneses is doing things.
And in this case, the Hardnets. Don't try to keep up with the Hardnets.
Baby, we ain't.
You need to be comfortable in your own skin.
That's right.
And don't want to be in anybody else's skin because you don't know what their skin is like. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what struggles, sacrifices, or anything else that they have every single day. So when people say they want to be like someone else, I always say I don't want to be like anybody else because I don't know what anybody else is going through. You don't know if anybody else
went through to get where they are.
Exactly. You don't know what type of struggles they have, what type of struggles they had, or which type of struggles they are going to have in the future.
Okay, then.
So be satisfied with who you are. Love you.
I love that. And what has been your experience on the show?
I love it. I love coming here.
Would you love to come back again?
I would love to come back.
I think we need to do a
Do you love us?
I do.
Okay.
I love both of you.
I think we need to do a husband and a husband and wife show where we're talking about relationships. I think that sounds good. I'm gonna turn this over to
stay tuned to Tasteful and Toxic when we put this one out with the Hardnet just coming out soon.
Okay. Then. All right. I'm gonna turn this over to you, Mr. Thomas.
Well, you guys first of all, the show, I like it. I like the first of all, the professionalism in this studio. I'm looking around and I see a very nice studio where you've got people that are taking care of business behind the scenes, doing a really good job.
Thank you.
So I want to,
beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Great topic today. I really enjoyed it. It gave me an opportunity to self-reflect or to reflect on some things. And then the fact that we're friends and to sit around and just have a conversation like this.
Yes.
You know, for a minute, I forget that there are
friends.
cameras in here. So, yeah, it's just, I enjoyed it today. And I would like to come back and even be on the
Tasteful and Toxic.
Tasteful and Toxic.
Also have a men's show every first Saturday
I sit
of
back.
the month.
Yeah,
Sure she do.
I try to. They ain't coming right.
What do you say, Justin?
I
About
like
that?
talking about men. I like talking about things that we deal with as men, and hearing other men talk about the things that they deal with, whether it's positive or negative or somewhere in between.
Just talking.
Yeah, just having a conversation with a man, just about, brother, this is this, and brother, this is that. So, it's always good to do that.
So how can you guys be found?
Well, you can catch us on social media. First of all, Talk to Nicole is Nicole's handle. And I am Thomas Hardnett on anything, whether it's Facebook or IG. And then, of course, our businesses, bughardnet.com, Focus Point, BH as in behavioralhealth.com, and Focus Point Franchising.
All right.
.com. So those are our businesses.
Where you welcome people to buy into the franchise, in other words.
Yeah, we definitely will. If you go on that website, it's not very expensive to own a Focus Point franchise. It just depends on the state. We thought we were going to open up a bunch in Texas, but Val has taught us a few lessons about that. So right now we're trying to open up locations in Maryland, Nevada, Arizona, and Virginia. But we are willing to listen to anyone who's interested in opening a location in any other state.
Amen.
And Brother Carter, what would you like to leave the people with?
Oh man, we have to deal with our past issues in life in order to be happy, joyful, and fruitful in our present. So we need to acknowledge that we have some issues in the past, and those things do hinder us at some time. So once we acknowledge those things, we'll be more focused and able to just move forward and enjoy our presence. So thank y'all for listening to the show. God bless you. I love you.
And of course, last thoughts is, once again, thank you guys so much. It's been a fantastic show. You guys blow me away every Saturday. I know this is nobody but God. I thank God for each one of you all. I pray to God that your weekend is blessed and it is fruitful. Go out and do something that you enjoy. And then also tell someone that you love. Let them know that you love them.
Yeah.
Abigail, what you reaching for? What's going on?
I just want to, because we keep talking about Tasteful and Toxic.
Yes.
So Tasteful and Toxic is a show we just launched a couple weeks ago. You can listen on Wednesdays at 8 a.m.
Yes.
We talk about relationships, whether it's tasteful or toxic, and we give our opinions on certain topics. We also have Mental Wealth with Steph on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And of course, the Love and Victory Show with Val every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m.
And how can they get to us, and where do they find it at?
So they can, you can listen to all of our radio shows by downloading the LV with Val app. You can also check out lvwithval.com and check us all out. We have a bunch of content coming. You can follow our social medias at LV with Val. Very easy. It's all LV with Val.
Everything. LV with Val. Not Long, not Brother Carter, but with Val. Because he is not the host of the show around
Carter,
here.
Can we wrap it up? Can y'all tell them goodbye? We love you guys. Until next Saturday.
All right.
Bye.